This is Elliott Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Again, here on the Comic Culture Warrior YouTube channel. And we have yet another review that we want to do. Right now, all our positive reviews are going towards the Marvel product. And
well, the only other book that I bought this week that was DC,
what are the
that I bought, which we should probably do. I want you to read it. We didn't have time. There's so much stuff. He didn't have time to read it. But JSA number 25 came out this week, and it was awesome. It ended the storyline between Black Adam and Billy Batson not having his powers anymore. Spoiler: they bring back the Wizard.
The
Wizard. The continuity, and it was a really good
story.
story.
Is it the Wizard Shazam or the Wizard of
Shazam?
Oz?
Fucking asshole.
Well, that cover has that great upshot. Mary
Upskirts.
Marvel. You get to see Mary Marvel's, black underwear, black panties.
Yeah, but
Black Adam and black panties. Hey,
you should be working in marketing. In DC. But no, he didn't read it, so we're not going to actually do an actual review. But JSA, co-written by Jerry
Ordway.
Yeah, and he's doing the art, and he's actually going to be taking over that book full time by himself.
Yeah.
So
no, Jerry Ordway. I love Jerry Ordway's work, especially when JSA was called All Star Squadron. So
yeah, so that was a DC book that was awesome.
Another really good book that just came out this past week was we were talking about. I know you were talking about it. The reunion of the creators of Invincible.
Together again for the first time.
In this Marvel Max book called Destroyer. It's Kirkman doing yet again.
And Cory
Walker. Doing balls out action. And Jose handed me this book before we started taping. And he says, you got to read this. And I'll be perfectly honest. I took the book. I sat over in the corner here at Dreamland. I read the first 4 or 5 pages, and I was going, not impressed. Meh. How cliched. Oh, wow. The great Robert Kirkman has finally fallen. And then he does a complete end around on me and shows me how, like a great magician, you think the trick's over here when the whole time it's right here. Totally caught me by surprise. And I got to say, once the initial action sequence passed, you set up, and you got into the character again, it grabbed my interest. The book really grabbed my interest then. And then the action sequence that comes after this, 18 pages of character, really getting into the character.
That's one of Kirkman's just strong suits, is the characterization.
Yes,
and that's how
good.
he gets you into every story he writes. He
gets you to care about the characters. And mind you, he's not, again, with Bendis does a lot of similar things, except with, I think we kind of agree. Right now, Bendis just can't seem to make the action matter in the books. Things aren't choreographed very well, and when the action takes place, it seems completely separate to the character moments that he puts in, and he just can't figure out how to balance it. Whereas,
this is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Exactly. Because in the beginning, you're like, wow, this Destroyer character seems like a total badass. And I'm thinking, seen that, yawn. But then, and I don't want to give away anything here, but then you see what makes this character unique. Mm-hmm. And when you get into the uniqueness of the character, you're like, shit, I would have never thought that. Yeah. And you see more of the complications that this character has to face. This book sets up a lot of questions that you're like, wait a minute, hold on. And while some might say, that makes no sense. Like, how can this character with apparent invulnerabilities, I don't want to, again, give anything away, appears to be invulnerable and yet seems to have a certain vulnerability that shouldn't affect them.
Right.
But because Kirkman handles it so deftly, I'm like, okay, I'm buying it. I'm buying what he's trying to do here. And then, with the last few pages, you get back into some action where you're like, oh, snap. That really does make sense. It is, to me, a very compelling read. I enjoyed it terribly. And I'm looking forward to see what happens next.
Yeah, easily.
I'll be honest, and you're talking to someone who you've heard me rail about Kirkman and what he's been doing with The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. I would get really frustrated with what he was doing in that book. It just seems like in this book right now, he's. I guess maybe it's because it's new territory, but he's really able to pull me into it again. I'm hoping he doesn't alienate me, like he's been doing in some other books.
Yeah. And to go back and talk about the Cory Walker art, we were just talking about how we hate Ethan Van Sciver's style and how much we liked
Marcos Martin.
And Cory Walker is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just he doesn't throw in any extra lines.
No.
It's exactly what he needs to tell the story, and it looks great.
And there's some.
I mean, it looks oversimplified, but it's really not.
Right. No. You're absolutely right, because there's some scenes here where it's first very little dialogue. In some of the most powerful scenes, some of the most emotional scenes, there isn't a whole lot of dialogue. So it's on Cory Walker to try to carry the weight of those moments. And he does it really well. The acting, the composition, the expressions in the characters' faces are not overdone at all, and it really conveys the weight of the moment in each panel. So, no, you're absolutely right. Very solid workman like effort here that doesn't need a whole lot of flash to make it work. Did I say flash?
Oh, you're a dick.
Destroyer is a great read. Pick it up. When we come back in our last segment, we'll have Last Rants.